Assalamu alaikum. So, we're going to do lesson number 11, which is As Sifah al Mausuf. Basically, this is the descriptive phrase. So, this is used a lot in Arabic. So, this is how we specify adjectives. So, if you remember in Al Ism, we do not have just the nouns. We have the nouns, the adverbs, the pronouns, the adjectives. All of them are collectively called Al Ism. So, um, so right now we are focusing on adjectives. How do we work with adjectives? And one of the commonest ways of specifying adjectives in Arabic is to use this as-sifat al-mawsuf uh, descriptive phrase, this phrase. So it basically consists of a noun followed by an adjective, which in Arabic means it depends. It basically consists of an ism, you know, an ism followed by another ism. You know, that's what it is. So the first noun that the noun that comes, the first ism, which is the noun, is called Mausuf. The one that is being described. This is what it means. And the following noun, the following ism or adjective in English is called sifat. Like in Urdu, sifat, which is basically what is the description, what is the sifa of that Mausuf. So the thing about as-sifat wal mawsuf is that this descriptive phrase, both the nouns will be identical, right? So if we think right now, what are the different things that could be the property of a noun in Arabic, if we're talking about al ism. So it will have the following properties, right? So the first thing would be the gender, whether the noun, the ism that's being described is male or female. Secondly, it will have number, right? Whether it is singular, dual, or plural. And the third thing would be what type it is. What type of ism is it? Is it definite, or is it indefinite? And the final property that the ism has is the state, or the signs, which is i'rab in Arabic. So whether it has dhamma or fatha, or it has a kasra. So these are the four properties that we can have, that an ism can have, and we'll discuss each of these four properties one by one. So the thing is that in a sifat wal mausuf combination, right? There can the both the nouns, the sifat and the mausuf, must have the same properties. It is necessary for them to have the same properties. If you see a noun, right? If you see two nouns or two isms in Arabic, in any Arabic sentence, right? If you see both of them, right next to each other, they they can either be sifat wal mausuf, or they will be something else, which we will cover in the following lesson. But it will be only one of these two case, right? And if you want to identify whether it's a sifat wal mausuf combination, then you have to see whether both the isms, both the noun, are having the same properties, the same gender, the same number, the same type, and the same sign. So if that's the case, then you know that yes, for certain this is a sifat wal mausuf combination. So let's check, each of these combinations one by one. So for example, gender, right? So this phrase that's written here, ajrun azimun, right? Ajrun is first is ism, azimun is the second ism. So first and the second. So this is the mausuf, this one, and this is the sifat. So we know ajr, right? A reward. What kind of an ajr? Azim, azim ajr. Ajrun azimun. So here the sifat, uh, azimun, great, really great. That's the description of the noun that follows it. Ajr, ajrun, right? So it's a description, and both these nouns will have all the same properties, right? For example, ajurun azimun. Ajurun is male. Azimun is also male. We'll cover this lesson in much more detail in the following lessons. The male and the female nouns, the muzakkar and the muannas. So we will cover this inshallah later on, but they're both males and they're all singular. Ajurun azimun. And they're all the same type, right? Are they definite or are they indefinite? This is also something we will cover later on in much more detail, but right now they are indefinite. The simplest alamat of an indefinite noun is the dhamma tanween, right? And the simplest alamat of a definite noun is al written before it. There is no al here and there is a dhamma tanween, so they are both indefinite nouns, right? And they all have the same sign, right? Both of them are having dhamma tanween. So this is how they are identical, right? So another example is al mau'izatul hasanatu. Al mau'izatul hasanatu. So advice which is hasan, but in this case they're both female, right? They're all singular, they're female. So if we look at the gender, they're female, then they are singular, and they are both definite because it is al mau'izatu. There is an al there. That's why we also have al hasanatu here. They both need to be definite, they have to be the same. So they're both definite and they have the same alamat, which is a dhamma. So they are the dhamma state. Some other examples. So in these examples, the number part will be much more highlighted, like Qur'anun Arabiyyun. So a Quran which is Arabi, which is in Arabic. So an Arabic Quran. This is what it means. So Arabiyyun is the sifat of the ism Quran, right? So this is the sifat which describes the first noun. So this is a sifat wal mausuf combination, because we can look, they are all the same, right? Quranun Arabiyyun, and they are singular in this case, and they're right in similar. Similarly, we have the second example, rajulani salihani. So rajulani, of course it's talking about male, masculine, and it is dual, rajulani. We will cover this also inshallah, how to identify singular, dual and plurals in the following lessons, but right now you can trust me that they are dual. So they're both duals, both the isms that we have, rajulani salihani. They're both dual, and they're both indefinite, right? There is no al there, and they have the same state, which is fatha. Similarly, we have ayatul bayyinatu, ayatun bayyinatun. So they are both plural. How do we know that they are plural? Because ayat is actually a plural ism. It's the plural form of the ism. Similarly, bayyinatun is also plural. So they're both plural. So don't worry about it. Inshallah, we'll know uh, how to identify these plurals and in the following lessons. But they're both plural and they have the same alamat. So what kind of ayat? Bayyinatun, right? Bayyina ayat, very clear signs. So the second ism here is the sifat, and the first ism is the mausuf, which is described ayat. Similarly, we have some more example. Here we are checking the definite and the indefinite. That part is contrasted. Al masjidul haramu. So of course other things are also same, but the point to be noted most importantly here is that they are both definite isms. This is al masjidu, right? You see this, al masjidu, al haramu. So they are both definite. The next example, kitabum mubinun. So kitabum is what? It's indefinite, because like we explained earlier, the dhamma tanween is the alamat of indefinite noun, indefinite ism. So that's why kitabum mubinun. And the final thing that's going to remain the same, which is highlighted in these examples, is the i'rab, right? The signs that we have on the last letter of a word. So minash shaitanir rajimi. So you see this, of course, all things being the same, even the i'rab is the same on both the letters. Azaban aliman, right? So again, the last letter of both the isms also has the same i'rab. And al-amalu salihi, al-amalu salihu. So they both have the same, again, the i'rab, and they're both definite, al-amalu and as-salihi, al-salihu. So these are the examples. So in summary, in this lesson, it's important in a sifat wal mausuf combination. This is called the descriptive phrase, because one of the nouns, the following nouns, describes the preceding noun. The second noun describes the first noun. So it's basically attaching an adjective to a noun. And how do we identify this phrase? We identify this phrase, first of all, there will be two isms clubbed together right next to each other, and then they will have the same properties, right? They will have the same gender, the same number, the same type, and the same state. So we can see some more examples that we have. For example, yeah, the first example, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. So where is the sifat mausuf combination? Khuluqin azimin. This is the sifat mausuf combination. Khuluqin, creation, your character. So what kind of character? Azim, very azim, very exalted character. So this is the sifat and this is the mausuf. So yeah. So one more thing is to be noted here is we have wa innaka la'ala. So this lam that is attached here, right? This is called lame takid. You know, the the lam for emphasis. You know, plus ala. So lam plus ala. So la ala. So this is not the harf jar lam that we get, right? Li becomes la when we attach it to any pronoun. So don't confuse it with that. This is the lam of emphasis, right? And here we have ala, right? So ala is a harf jar. So immediately the noun that follows the harf jar, we have covered this in the previous lesson. The noun that follows the harf jar will have kasra, right? So that's why we have khuluqin. That's why we have khuluqin. And since the following ism, the following noun is sifat mausuf combination, that will also have a kasra, khuluqin azimin, because it's essentially the same phrase. So yeah, this is example. Some more examples. Take the fourth example here. Inni ulqiya ilayya kitabum karimum. Inni ulqiya ilayya kitabum karimum. So where is the sifat mausuf combination? Is here, right? What kind of kitab? Kareem. You know, what kind of kitab? So it's a Kareem kitab. So letter, like, you know, respectable letter. So this is the sifat mausuf combination. And yeah, so more examples. Yeah, the first one example. Waja'alat. Sorry, not the first one. Let's take some other example. Yeah, second example. Min al mu'sirati ma'an sajjajan. So of course I'm pronouncing the last alamat also of the letter, because you know it helps us understand. In this case, where is the sifat mausuf combination? Ma'an sajjajan. Sorry, this is the sifat mausuf combination. What kind of what kind of water? Sajjajan. Water in abundance. That kind of water, and they're all the same. So there is anything exceptional in these examples. They're pretty straightforward. So take this example, fi kitabim maknunin. So this is the sifat mausuf combination. It's just straightforward. They both have the same properties, all the properties. And yeah, let's take this example. فَأَرَاهُ الْآيَةُ الْكُبْرَى. So there is the sifat mausuf combination. It does not look very obvious, right? So here's the sifat mausuf combination. فَأَرَاهُ ayatul kubra. So if you understand the first ism here, ayat, seems to be feminine, right? Because you have the ta marbuta. This is also a very common alamat of feminine nouns, like you have the ta marbuta, you know, on top or attached at the end. So it's pretty straightforward. So you take any noun, and not any noun but most of the nouns, and just attach the ta marbuta to it at the end, and it becomes a feminine form. So this first ism here, ayat, is actually feminine, and it's also plural. I mean, trust me, this will come later on, but this is feminine. But kubra doesn't really appear to be feminine. There's no ta marbuta there, but that is also feminine. And it doesn't always, different nouns have different forms, and some nouns have a feminine form that does not include the ta marbuta. So don't get confused here, right? Both the sifat and mausuf, they all have the same properties here as well. And yeah, so we have something similar in the last example also, right? They're both feminine, right? Tamatul kubra. So they're both feminine. This is feminine, and aya cobra is also feminine, and they're also definite, right? Because we see an al attached here. So again, they will have the same properties. What kind of an event? Of a very overwhelming event, a very great event, big kubra event. Yeah. So an-najmus saqibu. So simple, straightforward, sifat mausuf. What kind of a star? Saqib, right? So this was the lesson for sifat mausuf. You can do the remaining examples here, and it's fairly straightforward. It's pretty easy. And the whole idea is that whenever you see two isms attached, it's either going to be one of the two cases, right? The first would be, it can be a sifat wal mausuf combination, or it can also be a mudaf mudaf ilayh combination, which will be in the next lesson, inshallah.